Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 455. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Naimov prelims. All right, this is going to be Muhammad Naimov versus Kaan Ofli, and we're going to talk about that fight. We're going to break that one down round by round, and the rest of the ones on the prelims. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know the video is coming out. I'd really appreciate it, and if you do find yourself liking this video, hit the like button. All right, prelims weren't too bad. Probably... I mean, they were super early in the morning, but I still probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch these either. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch these. All right, let's get into this stuff. Okay, really measuring for the first minute of this fight, Muhammad Naimov versus Kaan Ofli. Ofli kicking the cup, kicking right to the nuts. Hard low kick from both guys. Naimov landing harder, fighting in the clinch with Ofli controlling it, but neither guy landing big. And Naimov catches him coming in with the right hand and then gets the takedown. Not much with it, but that's the difference maker in this first round, right? Naimov landing that big right hand really separated it. Because look at the striking numbers here, 14-11 in favor of Naimov. If he doesn't land that, I don't know if he wins this round, but really close. So it was really close before that. Second round, Ofli is shelling up high. Naimov is doing a really good job going to the body with the kicks and the straights, and Ofli landing in tight as they trade. Staggers Naimov with that big hand, was it a right hand? And then Ofli controlling in the clinch again, on separation. Naimov partially landing in space and gets a takedown. Not much with it. They get back up. Ofli controlling, but separated by the ref for inactivity. Both guys landing big, and that's like in this round. If Ofli had dropped him with that big shot instead of just wobbling him, I think I would give it to him, but I just couldn't do it. And like, here's the thing: the striking numbers here, 11-10. It was a very close round. I thought both guys landed big strikes. In the second round, that one to the head was the only one that Ofli landed. Like, it's really close. And like I said, had he dropped him with that one shot and was able to do the control that he did and kept everything else stayed the same, I give that to. If you gave it to Ofli, I totally understand. I still think Naimov wins that round. So I had him up 20-18. Last round here, Naimov partially landing a spinning heel kick. Ofli goes takedown, but falls being mounted. And then Naimov on the back for 3 minutes, and then they get back up. Ofli finally started landing with 25 seconds left, but he needs so much, and he just can't get it done. I thought he did outstrike him here, I thought he did more damage in this round. I could give him this last round, but that control time, man, it's really hard to see it the other way. I thought the damage was pretty darn close, right? Leading up to that, did Ofli really outdo all the damage Naimov did to him that whole round? I don't think so. Like I said, I think he did slightly more damage, but it was so damn close that the control is really what made the difference in that round for me. And I know, like, if damage, in my opinion, if there's not a clear damage winner, then you go to the next one because it was so close. Now it's a subjective measurement anyway. Looking at the judges' scorecards here, a little bit of confusion. All right, so Mike Bell gave that second round to Ofli. Totally understand. Oh, no confusion. That's fine. And then Ben Cartilage and Tony Weeks all giving Naimov all 3 rounds. So that's fine. That's what I thought was going to happen. I figured one judge might give that second round to him. Not a bad fight from either guy. It just seemed like Ofli, losing on the margins. He needs to either increase activity or land with bigger shots and get kind of lucky because he's losing in the margins. That's what's losing him this fight. These fights. He's lost the last one, couldn't get going. Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. I mean, Thomas Peterson literally just got thrown to the wolves. Like, he was not supposed to win this fight at all. And I was like, I wrote down every one of these heavyweight fights with these guys that I've seen gas out before. I'm just like, let's see if they gas out. Peterson going with the low kicks, trying to avoid that right hand. Gaziev with that the long reaching shots, and Peterson ducking and going to the body with the counters, looking really good. Peterson gets the great takedown, lets him back up, landing a couple hooks, and then separates. Gaziev with the kick to the nuts. Really nice nut shot there. Peterson's cardio really needs to hold up because if he gets stationary, he will get caught. And then like 20 seconds after I write that, a big right hand puts Peterson down, and then they just wave it off. Yeah, I don't think Gaziev is the answer at heavyweight, but he's a big dude who hits hard, so you fit right in with the current heavyweight landscape. Damir Hadzovic coming back finally versus Terrance McKinney. Man, when's the last time Hadzovic fought? because they were mentioning it. 2022. It's been 3 years, almost 3 years. Yeah. And then Terrance McKinney, man. It was a McKinney fight with the chaos early, high knees, wide hooks. McKinney landing hard with that right hand ahead, busting up his nose. Hadzovic was, I don't know if it was broken, but it was definitely bleeding right away. Hadzovic goes takedown. McKinney grabs the guillotine, uses it to get to mount, and then after he got mount, it was pretty much all over. Tons of stuff, like elbows. He was defenseless. He wasn't even trying to stand up at that point. This is one of those fights where they're like, it was pretty definitive early, and they're like trying to let Hadzovic work his way back. It's so crazy to me that like there's some fights where a guy just starts taking a ton of punishment and they're like, yeah, that's cool, I'll let him work. And then other fights where they're just like, he lands one big shot, like, oh, that's too much. He punched him one time real hard. McKinney's still a fun guy to watch. Anytime he's signed up, I'm interested. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. This was a big test for Jasudavicius. Bueno Silva has these moments where she looks like not a world beater, but just looks like a tank. Just like she can't be, nothing affects her. And the thing is, even if she's losing, she looks like that. So, a fighter might get dejected. I'm not trying to put that on anybody. What I'm saying is like, even when she's losing the fight, she's still so confident and she still swings hard and she's a dangerous person to deal with. So Jasudavicius, having to mind her P's and Q's for three rounds with her, beating her like this, it is a really good fight. So Silva refuses to take a back step, landing hard low kicks, hard hooks, firing away, and Jasudavicius landing a 1-2, but just doesn't have the same sting on him. Jasudavicius she ducks under to get a clean double, falls into a guillotine, really not super tight, just a lot of control with it. Works her way to a mounted crucifix. On the feet, the damage was in favor of Silva, but the groundwork more than closed the gap, in my opinion. Jasudavicius ends up outstriking her 14-10. If you look at the total strike numbers, 35-10, and that 2 minutes and 50 seconds of control time. Clearly, Jasudavicius' round, in my opinion, 10-9. Second round, even on the feet, Jasudavicius can win this with her volume and movement as long as she doesn't stay planted and try to trade, right? She's winning the exchanges on the feet when she's moving. When she goes in and moves out, moves side to side, that lateral movement. She's doing a good job with it, and she can win. Jasudavicius starts landing that right hand almost at will, and Silva digging that lead hook to the body, just a lot less output from her. Silva able to corner her for a second and land an elbow, but again, the slow output as she complains about her hair getting grabbed. Jasudavicius gets a clean double leg, and Silva complains about getting hit in the face, but it was a shoulder. It was not headbutts. Those were shoulders coming to hit her in the face. So, that's Jasudavicius' round, but Bueno Silva, I don't know if her focus wasn't there. I feel for people like that because I know that a lot of the fighters be like, well, you gotta stay in it, and that's a lack of focus and this and that. But we've seen it where someone is literally grabbing your glove, and you're telling the ref they're grabbing my glove, and then they get the finish directly because of that foul, and the referee does nothing. Like, what are you supposed to do? Honestly, it's not like I just thought of it. Okay, by the way, this last round, dominant. Silva swinging wide, she gets back up. The last round, Silva knows that she needs a finish as she turns up the pressure, swinging wide, landing elbows in tight. Jasudavicius starts landing elbows in tight as Silva tries to return, but then Silva swings wide with hooks, and Jasudavicius kicking the gut and getting that takedown yet again. Dominant round for Jasudavicius, really pitching a shutout in this last round. Anyway, I had her winning 30-27. Let's see here. Let's look at the scorecards. No surprises. Everybody said 30-27. So here's my point. So if someone were to foul you, and there's in the act of fouling, and it's grabbing the fence, grabbing a glove, not poking the eye because that wouldn't be a stationary thing, grabbing your shorts, those kinds of things. If the referee doesn't notice it, maybe you just foul. Maybe your foul will get noticed, and then you guys can take a break so you can say it, right? So the retaliation, that's what you're opening this up to. If the referees aren't going to do anything, even when you're I feel for Bueno Silva. Even if there weren't fouls, I understand it. So maybe this time it wasn't justified for her to complain. But when people complain about that stuff and it goes unnoticed and it gets unaddressed and essentially leads directly to them losing a fight, you commit the foul then. You commit the foul too. Poke them in the eye. Seriously, just take your thumb and dig it in their fucking eye. They're holding your glove, punch them in the dick. Why not? Why not? They're committing a foul already. Grab their hair and yank it. I don't care. Do something. It's just because you at least the break will be had, even if you're addressed for the penalty. Like, then you can discuss it afterwards when they're looking at replays. But while it's going on, all you care about is the ability to execute proper MMA technique within the rule set. And if your opponent isn't doing that, and they're preventing you from doing that by cheating, by executing things outside of the rule set, your turn. You do it now. You get 3 free ones anyway, at least. It's become more and more cynical. Lucas Alexander versus Bogdan Grad. Alexander missing weight by 2.5 freaking pounds. Regardless of how it happened, it's just like it needs to be addressed. It's not okay. Never okay. Fight wasn't bad while it lasted. Grad right in on the pressure, twitchy, right in his face, very planted, looking to land big shots. Alexander kicking low and using the jab to circle. Grad gets to the clinch, can't do anything with it though. Finally, a nice right hand lands for Grad, able to work in for the low single and get the rear body lock. But Alexander using the elbows, the downward elbows to defend the takedown, get back on top. Grad is working the takedowns, just not able to control or damage or do literally anything with it. Alexander defends another one, keeps landing shots, and out-damages him. 15-5 for striking numbers in favor of Alexander. He just did more offense. Grad just was really stubborn about trying to get those takedowns, and then when he would get them, couldn't do anything with them. Hard low kicks from Alexander starting off the second round, drops Grad as he starts to piece him up on the feet. And Grad swinging wide, very dangerous, but looking a little tired. Grad found some success with that right hand to the body, then up top and lands another one after catching a kick. So he catches a kick, and now he's able to take him down and get on top. And then Grad was able to get to the mount and get the TKO finish there. Right, that's what he was looking for. That's what he did. Excellent round for Grad. A little bit of a comeback. I mean, a relatively short fight to have a comeback in, but that's what it was. Really fighting through, a little bit of adversity to get his first UFC win. So, good-looking dude. Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Jamal Pogues. This was one of those heavyweight ones where I was like, let's see if it ends quick or we end up with a heavyweight slop fest. Neither kind of happened. It was more tentative. Abdelwahab really trying to corner him and land that right overhand as he's getting to the tie-up and taking him down. But then he gets back up, and Abdel going with the hip ride, landing some shots to the back of the head. Pogues getting up and trying to initiate his boxing with that jab, just not committing to the range, right? It's not that he's not landing. He absolutely is landing, but he's not committing to that boxing range. He will jab and then he'll exit, jab and exit. He doesn't want to follow up with much, but Pogues made up the damage throughout the rest of the round with that jab, outstruck him 22-11. I gave him that first round. Second round here, Pogues back to the jab, using that low kick. Abdel countering with that big overhand right. Slow output from Pogues, skirting the edge of the cage as he's jabbing and low kicking. Abdel only found success with his low kicks this round, just not enough from him. He got outstruck 22-12. There was nothing from Abdelwahab that really spoke to me that said he was doing more damage. Those 6 headshots that he landed and the 6 leg strikes, do you think those outdid the 12 and 10 strikes respectively from Pogues? I don't think so. I'm mentioning these things because I know the outcome. But I gave Pogues that second round as well. Last round here, they trade kicks and Pogues goes high with one, slapping with the foot. It wasn't a crazy damaging head kick, but he landed a head kick. Crazy that Abdel just didn't shoot a takedown in these last 2 rounds. I thought that was his path to victory based off what I saw in that first round. Still don't think he won this round, even though this was a better round for Abdelwahab. He still got outstruck 25-21, even the head strike. So if that's what a lot of guys are looking for, 17-11. The only thing that he did better was land 3 to the body to Pogues 0. Outstruck, like I said, 25-21. I gave it 30-27 for Pogues. If you maybe gave Abdelwahab that last round, we could talk, but there is nothing else. There is no way you can give 2 rounds to Abdelwahab, is what I was thinking until they read the scorecards. All right. So Tony Weeks gave all 3 rounds to Pogues. Cool. I agree with that. And then Ben Cartledge gave the first round to Pogues. Okay. I mean, I agree with that one. I think he won that one as well. Second round to Abdelwahab. Third round to Abdelwahab. I will accept that one. Right? That third round, like that was the closest round that Abdelwahab. So like that's not horrible. But that second round to Abdelwahab, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was the clearest round for Pogues. Like it was down the stretch. It was not like just because Abdelwahab was moving forward does not mean he's winning the round. And he did not land such big shots that outdid what Pogues did. Commentary team just swept this under the rug and moved on. But like they were watching this, they're like, yep, Pogues is gonna win this one. Okay. This is how the night started, by the way. This is the first fight on the prelim card. And then Saul D'Amato, my man. Oy, you're making it hard to root for you again. He's screwed up a couple times in the past few weeks, and this is another one. In fact, this is probably the worst possible scorecard, right? Because he gives the last round to Pogues, which I did as well, but if you're going to give Abdelwahab a round, that's one that you give him. But he gave the first round to Abdelwahab, which, for the control time, I don't agree with it, but I could see an argument. But again, that second round, he also gave that second round to Abdelwahab. No fucking way. No way. By far the worst round you can give to him. So if you think that he won round 1 and round 2, why do you think Pogues won the last round? That's why I'm saying this is the worst scorecard, because the logic, the train of logic does not make sense here. How can you look at what happened in round 1 where Abdelwahab gets control time but gets outstruck, in my opinion, outdamaged by Pogues? Give that Abdelwahab, right? Second round, in a round where it spent the entire time on the feet, Abdelwahab was moving forward for a majority of the round, but Pogues outstruck him and outdamaged him even more in that second round, right? And you gave that Abdelwahab. Okay, so let's just follow that train of logic. Let's follow that one. Okay, in this man's view, he thought the first round from the control and the damage that Abdelwahab did, he won that round. And from the second round, the pressure and the damage that Abdelwahab gave him that round. And the third round, Abdelwahab had a better round. He did it better. I think Saul D'Amato was marking the wrong fucking scorecard here. I really do. I think he fucked up. I think this needs to be investigated. I think they need to ask him, because there's no fucking way. With that train of logic, you can tell me that Abdelwahab's best round is the one that he lost to Pogues. And his worst round is the one that he won against Pogues. That's absolutely ridiculous. Abdelwahab ends up getting the fucking win here. A split decision in which he should not have. That Pogues was surprised. There's no fucking way. Yeah, that didn't happen. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. It means a lot to me. If you like this kind of thing and you want to see more of it, subscribe to the channel. Then you know the next video is coming out. I'd really appreciate it. And if you did like this video, hit the like button. If you're looking for the main card, all the breakdowns, that's in the last video. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Love you guys. Peace.